Hello, and this will be at 2,300 points of Wood Elves against 2,000 plus of Skaven. So the reason for the odd point totals is that this is a campaign game, and so depending on how the flags were, I got an extra 300 points, and the person I'm against, which is my brother, he's actually the leader of the disorder side, so he gets all of his champs for free. So he has a few extra points there just from having all these champs, but nothing too significant. Now, the way that this came up is usually, of course, me and my brother would try and avoid playing each other because we play each other a lot outside. But today's my birthday and I really wanted to get a game in, and I saw that nobody wanted to take on my brother so far, so I challenged him. So this is going to be an uphill battle because I'm doing my Wood Elves and he's doing a fairly competitive Skaven list. So that was going to be tough enough, even with the 300 point advantage. But when we rolled for mission, we got battle for the pass. So whereas I would usually try and go around you and try and outflank you, rush a bunker or something, that's very difficult now. So we're off to just kind of see what happens. I mean, I have a few little tricks I can pull, but it's going to be tough. But anyway, on my side, I got 3 units of 10 Glade Riders. In the middle one is my level 4 and my BSB. I got 4 units of 10 Glade Guard, and then on either flank I got 5 Glade Riders and also some Warhawks. Just to add to the difficulty, I didn't get Dwellers. So, you know, just a little bit more. On his side, he has the HBA. He has a horde of storm vermin, and in there he has his warlord that has the Fellblade. Then he has his little unit of 20 slaves, and then there's an engineer with the Doom Rocket, a big huge unit of slaves, and in this time, because he had to make sure to protect them, he put his level 4 and his BSB inside that unit. Then he has a big huge horde of clan rats and a horde of the plague monks. In the back, you can see also has his warp lightning cannon, and I got my 2 units of Waywatchers back there. So normally these guys would be, the plan would be going after his bunker, but because of the way he kind of debunkered, I'm just going to be trying to take out this warp lightning for some fast points and then see what I can do. Really, the name of this game is going to be, all I need to do is find one little disruption point where I can break up his lines, and then once my Glade Riders can switch on to the other side, boom, I got this. But I also got to really watch it because on the left flank, that HPA, since you can't flee from him, really makes it difficult. So Skaven get first turn, and for my Vanguard up, I had forced a bait test on the monks. They passed it. Everything just marched up, really. He had a fairly healthy magic phase, and in this one he put Death Frenzy on his main unit, so that's his big slave unit in the center, and then also he got a little blast that he did to my main center unit, and I think killed like 3 of my Glade Riders, passed my panic test. His Warp Lightning Cannon rolled a misfire, so just kind of dissipated, and otherwise, you know, this isn't so bad, but just really showing me that he's just going to put on the pressure and he'll run me right to the end of the board if he really has to. So on my turn, I charged with both my units. The one unit rolled double ones, but luckily the other one got in. And also, just to say, his warlord already took 1 wound from his own Fellblade. My turn 1, even though I'd really love to have the arrows flying already, he has the Storm Banner up, and he also got the spell up last time so that there's an additional -1. So, I mean, on all my shooting where I'd normally need 3s, I need 6s. So, of course, I got almost nothing done. That one spell of his also meant that my Warhawks couldn't fly, so they're just going to be there to try and bait things. And that's actually not so bad, because now that could be just the disruption that I wanted. So that's not so bad. My magic was completely shut down from what I remember, but at least the Warp Lightning Cannon is down. The only other thing I did, as you see on the far right, I brought over a unit just to try and break up his lines there. And of course I know he can't charge me and chase me because I'm just going to hop to the other side of this impassable ruins thing. His turn 2 really kind of hurts. First of all, he has his charges on the right, and the way that he did them, of course I had to go over, but luckily I ended up so I didn't go off the board, so that worked out pretty well. Otherwise, the big thing is his HPA didn't get to me, which he probably shouldn't have, but his magic was deadly because he was able to hit my unit of 5 with Warp Lightning, wiped them out, and then the Doom Rocket landed in the middle of the unit of 10 and killed all but 1. So, yeah, really painful stuff, and Yeah, this battle of attrition isn't going so well so far. So my turn two, I really decided to go for it. You know, things are looking bad. I gotta do something desperate, and I noticed that the way that he had to break up his lines is that his main unit here that has the slaves and his level 4 and his BSB was completely open to be flanked and stuff. So I got a unit on either side flanking. I got in my riders in there as well, and yeah, I mean, if I can hit them hard, and if either side, if they can not lose anyone, so I at least have an extra rank, then I can take all the rank bonus away from the leadership, and maybe I'll get lucky. Of course, the one big thing I didn't think about for this big plan was the fact that he had Death Frenzy on, which was huge. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, man, I just might as well just give up. So yeah, at the end of there, it did not go well. I actually lost by one, and luckily everything held, but man, that was just stupid. I mean, of course, when you're hitting guys on the side, you figure you're just going to be taking on 3 attacks. When you're taking on 9 because they're death frenzied, that's just pretty deadly. Some good news though is that on this turn his storm banner ended, so at least that's one thing done, and also his warlord had taken another wound. So I mean, I can maybe hope I can get those points, but of course right here it looks like I'm totally screwed. I mean, I was lucky not to lose all this stuff and break. But man, I mean, once I lose my level 4 and my noble, I'm just going to be dominated as he just takes over the magic phase and blasts me. And yeah, wow, look at this. Um, you know, didn't even mention that last turn I rolled double ones for my Winds of Magic. Again, just me thinking that I'm just completely screwed and that the dice turn against me, and then this happens. So on the far left, this is part of my own doing, where that unit where I lost all but one, I used it to block the Storm Vermin and the HBA, so the HBA killed it and the Storm Vermin reformed, so I just kind of slowed them down there. But he had charged in his other unit of slaves into my flank, and he still has Death Frenzy and all this stuff on his main unit, but I just rolled like nuts, and I just killed a bunch, and then when his attacks came back, of course he had killed so much last time that he couldn't kill much this time. And part of that is that his BSB went and challenged, and I took it with my noble, and my noble killed his BSB. So that's huge, because of course with Death Frenzy, that one BSB of his with the halberd was just really cutting into me. And so yeah, I won. He broke and exploded, and that's how I took a few little damage here on my guys. He held with his other slaves, but this is now looking very possible. My turn 3 then, I have complete magical dominance, get off a few critical spells, which now has me all healed up. I have Flesh to Stone on my guys in combat, so of course they won, but he was able to hold. And now that I'm all free, I can finally get some shooting done, and I release all my shooting and my Hail of Doom and stuff into the clan rats, force a panic test, and they hop off the board. So wow, this is turning around very fast. His turn 4, the HPA goes into one unit, overruns into the other, so that was some poor placement on my part, and it's going to lose me some points. Otherwise, he has his warlord charge out of the unit, go into my flank. Luckily, with my toughness on and with the kills from the slaves, I think I just lose by 1 and then I hold, and yes, I passed a lot of leadership 7 tests this turn. Otherwise, his monks and his storm vermin just kind of reform to try and put the pinch on me, but really at this point I'm only really worried about the HPA. My turn 4s, again, some really big points for me. Really, of course, his HPA kills the unit that he was fighting, but again, with my magical dominance, I was able to get Flesh of Stone off on those guys again, and the Shield of Thorns. And so the Shield of Thorns killed the Warlord, which is a big chunk of points, and then I was able to beat and explode the slaves. So there's some more nice points. He has almost nothing that he can actually charge and engage. I mean, of course, the HPA is going to get into that one unit there, but, you know, it's looking good. His turn 5 now, and what happens here is that the HPA goes and charges into that one unit, of course goes and kills it, and this could have been so bad. First his monks charge my archers, they run not too far off to the left, but in range of the Storm Vermin. Storm Vermin charge, and now they're forced to go all the way back over here to the right. And even though the Storm Vermin, of course, fail their charge, if the monks get this, it wouldn't be too hard for them to overrun to my Way Watchers. So I'm just thinking, oh my god, I can't believe this fell apart. But luckily, even though he only was about 9 inches away, he failed his charge, and that was just massive. My turn 5, it's really just about running away and shooting up his Storm Vermin. His turn 6, his Storm Vermin try a long bomb charge, needing an 11 to get to my Way Watchers fail, and his HBA failed to get to my Archers. And then my turn 6, everything converges on the Storm Vermin, really hoping to get a good panic test here and get them to run off the board, but they pass, so no dice. So yeah, victory to the Wood Elves. When we added it all up, the Wood Elves had about, let's say 300 more victory points. So nothing super massive, but I mean, in a game where I thought I was doomed, and I made massive mistakes, I'll take that win. So of course my brother was pretty pissed off, but yeah, I mean, some thoughts of this game. My way of trying to break up his lines, that worked fairly well. Of course, my big, huge combi charge on his main unit of slaves would have worked out a lot better if he didn't have that Death Frenzy on. So, I mean, that was pretty crazy. And another thing that really helped me as well is just the fact that my noble was able to kill his one BSB. And probably what I should do in future games is I should make that one noble a little bit more killy. So something to think about. And otherwise, I was just really happy to get the win. After we did this, I was scheduled to do another skirmish game, and my opponent didn't show up. So my brother took me on that. And just to really explain what it was all about just quickly is that he basically was trying to get across a river and I was trying to stop him. I had, the way the points worked out, just 10 Glade Guard all broken up into 1 units, and then he got 200 points and he took 200 slaves. And yeah, guess what? I didn't stop him. So anyway, my brother got a little bit of revenge, but you know, in the end, you know, a little bit of frustration for him, but then, you know, had our fun in the end. So hope you liked watching it. Bye.